Greetings, family. It's Empress D, obviously in my super duper nature spot. I hope everybody is well and obviously getting out in nature, especially if you're living in Toronto. You have no excuse. It's hot. It's nice. Come on, family. They're even modifying the weather so that the sun is not as bright. So, family, get outside. Get outside. We've got, at least in the GTA, the Toronto area, that blanket that we get for a few days after we see them crisscrossing the sky with the spraying thing. Anyway, that's what's up, family. This is what we've got. This is what we're living in. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in. I haven't touched base in a while. Um, yeah, it is what it is. You know, I find that sometimes I'm going through something and it feels like I'm not in a position to share, if that makes sense. Sometimes when I'm going through stuff. And in fact, that's what happened when I took that long hiatus. That was a really challenging time that I didn't feel like I could muster up the ability to share. And the last week and a bit have been similar, but here we are today. I've got that energy, family. So here we are. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base. I don't really have a topic. It is what it is. So much is going on right now. So much is going on, family, and I just hope that people are being intentional about taking care of themselves, and putting themselves and their family first, realizing that although finances are important, they're not more important than people. I hope people are recognizing that. Um, you know, we need money. I can't fault any of us for making decisions solely based on money. I can't fault us. And I say that because we have all been conditioned and socially programmed to actually essentially put money over people. You know, a lot of people, we have to, like, when we look at the mandates for that vaccination, the COVID-19 vaccine, a lot of people put their financial obligations over their self, right? And that's what it essentially came down to when we decided to get that vaccine against our will, of course, you know, to maintain our financial obligations. It's so heart-wrenching that we were faced with that. So that is not right. It's actually illegal. It's not. So the COVID-19 vaccines, I'm just going to be straight up, right? They did not have long-term safety data. So I think they were developed. So obviously the pandemic was declared in March of 2020. Apparently, virologists and vaccine makers had the virus and were working on vaccines in early 2020, even before the March 2020 declaration of pandemic. So I've listened to a show where a virologist was explaining that he had received the virus in January of 2020 and he was developing a vaccine at that point, right, family? Because the race was on. So they had just began developing vaccines in 2020, January of 2020. And by December of 2020, they had already been administering these vaccines to human beings. By September of 2021, pregnant women were mandated to take the COVID-19 vaccine to keep their job. So again, no long-term safety data. That makes it experimental, family. It makes it an experimental product. If it has no long-term safety data, it is experimental. There's something that all healthcare practitioners learn about, and we all learn about it, early on in our studies, and it's called the Rules for Human Experimentation. It's like a global guide for conducting experiments. So that first rule in that document is that under no circumstances is it ethical to coerce, trick, lie, convince somebody to participate in an experiment. That's the first rule. Right, family? And, oh, mosquitoes biting me in the middle of the day. That first rule was broken with the COVID-19 vaccine mandates for your work. And that was done on see, it's tricky because it all depends on what the provinces or states in the US or the country or Canada or the US and of course the states has in their guidelines, right? Like, I don't know how you can mandate somebody participate or take something that has no long-term safety data. Again, if it has no long-term safety data, it's considered experimental. Ay. What I do know is that they worked really hard and they broke lots of rules to get everybody to take this thing. What I also know, we've got a few years in the rearview mirror to evaluate things, is that that vaccine that they were hell-bent on getting into every arm did not stop transmission of the virus, nor did it prevent you from getting the virus. Actually making the mandates not even make sense. There's no rationale or reason for this mandate if the goal is preserving public health. The goal of public health is to preserve public health. But I don't know that was the goal. The goal was to get this product in every arm, because this product did not stop transmission. So how is that going to protect public health? They also claimed that if getting the vaccine would prevent you from getting severe disease or being hospitalized, right? Fair enough. But I know, actually, I think 99.9%, there might be somebody that I don't know of, that's why I leave that 0.1% out there, of the people that I know that are unvaccinated did not die or did not end up in the hospital. So I'm at a loss, because if they claim that that's what the vaccine did, okay, fine. How do you prove that, first of all? And second of all, how do you explain the unvaccinated not dying or going to the hospital? They always say the retrospectroscope is always wonderful, or hindsight is 2020. We can always know better looking in the rearview mirror, but there were many people in 2020 and 2021 that were saying, hey, what are we doing? This doesn't make sense. But for some reason, their accounts were banned and canceled, or they lost their careers, right? For some reason, people that were saying, hey, we're made to look like idiots. We're called crazy. The retrospectroscope and hindsight is 2020. I can't believe this. I honestly, sometimes I'm sitting out here, I'm walking in nature sometimes, and I'm thinking, did this really happen? Did we globally really go through this? What? Listen, y'all. And speaking to a wonderful, loving friend, they were sharing how, you know what it is? It's just that people feel beaten, worn down. They don't feel like they can do anything. And I guess I get it, but okay. You know what I guess you could liken it to? Like somebody in a fight getting beaten up, and instead of like fighting back, they just decide to roll up in a ball and take the blows. So I guess it's well, I guess that's what people are doing. They're rolling up and curling up and taking the blows. What? How is this going to end? It's either going to end in the person taking the blows, stopping just because they want to. But why would they do that? Or you're going to have to make them stop. They're going to have to stop. And if you're just going to roll up and keep taking it, it's going to be at their will. And when will they stop? Listen, it's best you unroll yourself and get up and fight back. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to at least try that, as opposed to rolling up and taking the blows. You know what it is? It's love. It's love for yourself, right? I'm rambling. 11:11. Maybe not, because I'm not wearing my glasses. No, it's 11:30 something. Good grief. Anyway, these are not prescription. But family, I hope it's obvious to everybody watching and everybody on this planet right now that something is wrong, and that those that are in charge of us are not moving like they have our best interests at heart. So if that's the case, we're going to have to start taking our own best interest at heart, right? And so that's not rolling up in a ball, it's fighting back. How do you fight back? Definitely not with violence. And I hate that we use that word, fighting back, because it's not a fight. What it is just doing for yourself. Listening to yourself and not others. That's how you fight back. You stop listening. Like listen, if what they're telling you to do doesn't serve you, then stop. The other thing is recognizing and accepting, and it's a painful truth to do it, that those that are supposed to love and cherish you hate you. That's hard. Listen, we're all going through it together. We have to accept that those that are in charge of us hate us. And the fact of the matter is, it is so much more common that phenomenon of those that are in charge to take care actually do harm and hate than we think. There's so many beautiful, blessed children that are in the care of people that should not have children. You know, a lot of atrocities happen to children, and at the hands of those given the privilege of nurturing them. This is the world we're living in. And so we have to recognize, family, it is time. It is time to choose yourself over anything. Do what's right for you, not what you're told. Right, family? And guess what? Be willing to suffer the consequences, because guess what? The fact of the matter is, you're going to have to keep listening and listening and listening again. Just getting beat until you decide to stop, because those that have that power are saying, oh, they listen to do that, oh my gosh, okay, we got them, let's get them to do this, that and the other, like, and it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. I'm rambling, this is so long. Well, family, we have to do better if we want to see something different, right? For now, you know, Einstein said it, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Okay, family, thank you for taking the time to listen. I love and I value each and every one of you, and I thank you for listening to my rant. All right, take good care, family. One love.